You're watching 406 Proofed. Real trails, real gear, real stories from the Montana backcountry. This is Solo. Our 3-year-old Australian cattle dog, a rattlesnake, bit him, right in our front yard. We always thought antivenom was given immediately, but we found out that's not necessarily true. In this video, we'll walk you through what actually happened, what treatment looked like, and what we learned that might just save your dog's life. It happened in the evening. We were unloading firewood from the truck, prepping vehicles so we could take it out on our next film outing. Solo yelped, but we didn't think much of it at the time.
You're a good boy.
He ran off like normal. In hindsight, we likely pushed the snake from the wood pile. Later that night, though, he wasn't acting like himself. He didn't sleep where he normally does, and he turned down a cookie before bed. That never happens. The next morning, his neck was extremely swollen. We called the vet. They couldn't see him until 11 a.m. The moment we walked in, the vet took one look and said, "Rattlesnake bite." We were stunned. We'd lived here for over 10 years and never seen a rattler, and we had no idea a dog could survive a bite like that. Because Solo's a healer with a double coat, the bite site still isn't visible, just the swelling. The vet explained that antivenom isn't always used right away, it's expensive and sometimes not necessary, so he recommended a treatment and monitoring plan first. Solo was given 5 medications at the clinic: flunixin meglumine to reduce swelling and inflammation, diphenhydramine to control allergic reactions, butorphanol for pain relief and sedation, penicillin as an antibiotic to prevent infection, and a topical anti-inflammatory called Surpass cream. The vet kept him overnight for observation. Later that evening, he said Solo wasn't doing great, still no antivenom, but it was being considered. Here's why. There's a critical window, about 18 hours after the bite, where things can go either way. That's the time frame where venom can start affecting organs, causing internal bleeding or worsening swelling. If Solo had continued to decline during that window, the vet would have given antivenom, but instead, by morning, Solo was stable and improving. We got to the clinic as soon as it opened. Solo was alert, wagging his tail, swollen, but happy to see us. They sent us home with 3 medications: the Surpass cream to keep applying, Maloxidil, an oral anti-inflammatory, and Clavamox tablets, a broad-spectrum antibiotic. The entire vet visit cost us $376. No antivenom, just care, close monitoring, and one tough little dog. I am going to answer the most asked questions. Question 1. How do I know my dog was bitten by a snake? In our case, we didn't see it happen. We just heard Solo yelp, and that was it. No limping, no bleeding, nothing obvious. But that night, he acted off. He stayed away from his usual sleeping spot and turned down a treat. That never happens. By morning, his neck was swollen. That was the biggest sign. Question 2. What does a rattlesnake bite look like on a dog? Honestly, we never saw the actual bite. Solo's a healer with a double coat. To this day, the puncture marks are still hidden, but the swelling, that was unmistakable. Massive, tight swelling in the neck. It looked serious, and it was. Question 3. How fast do symptoms show up after a bite? In Solo's case, we're not exactly sure. He was bit in the evening. We heard him yelp, but we didn't see anything obvious, and we went to bed. By the time we woke up the next morning, his neck was badly swollen, so it could have started within minutes or hours later. We just don't know. Normally, symptoms show up within 30 minutes to 6 hours, depending on the bite location, venom load, and the dog's size. Some dogs swell up fast, others, like Solo, might not show signs until much later. That's why you should always monitor behavior, even if there's no visible injury. Question 4. What should I do if I think my dog was bitten? Don't wait. Call a vet immediately, even if you're not sure. Time matters more than anything. If we had waited another day, Solo might not be here. The earlier you get help, the better the outcome. After Solo's bite, our vet mentioned the rattlesnake vaccine. We'd honestly never even considered it before, so we did some research and had to decide what made the most sense for us. Here's what we found out. Let's start with the pros. The vaccine may reduce the severity of symptoms after a bite. It could buy your dog time, especially if you're far from a vet. And it's often recommended for working dogs or those who live in high-risk areas. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? But there are also cons. The vaccine doesn't guarantee immunity. Your dog can still get sick and still need treatment. It requires yearly boosters, and depending who you ask, the effectiveness is debated. Some vets swear by it. Others say brush clearing and supervision do more. For us, we chose not to get the vaccine. Instead, we put our time and money into clearing brush, removing snake habitat, and keeping a closer eye on our dogs in the yard. It's not a one-size-fits-all answer. Just know your options and choose what works for your dog and your land. We never expected this. We've lived here for over a decade and never seen a rattlesnake. But Solo was bitten just a few feet from our front door, and we learned a lot. First, rattlesnake bites aren't always fatal, and antivenom isn't always the first step. That shocked us. We thought no antivenom meant no chance, but our vet had a plan, and it worked. Second, symptoms don't always show up right away. Solo looked fine that night. It wasn't until the next morning that things turned serious, so trust your gut. If your dog acts off, pay attention. Third, prevention matters. We cleared brush, cleaned up wood piles, and we stay alert when the dogs are out. That's the kind of stuff that buys you time, or keeps it from happening again. The truth is, this could happen to any rural dog owner. If it does, don't panic. Act fast, call a vet, and know that there's a chance, even without antivenom. Solo got lucky, but it wasn't just luck that saved him, it was action. And now, we're prepared.
Want more raw stuff like this from the backcountry? Hit subscribe. He's out there doing it either way, but the support keeps it going.